And we're back. It's yours truly, Bruce Hill, my best friend, Seth.
Me, Seth. We got a guest with us today. This is Amara. You say hi.
Hi.
Hi, this is my youngest daughter, and she'll be joining us today for our episode where we're going to keep it light, keep it funky fresh. And I think today we're just going to talk about one of our favorite shows. If you don't know anything about us, I know our friends do, but as fans, subscribers, customers, whatever you want to call yourself, we are big into Rick and Morty. That's our thing.
Yeah, if you don't like Rick and Morty, just go ahead and skip to the next episode. We'll catch you next week. Okay, first of all, so Rick and Morty is an animated television show on Cartoon Network's Adult Swim, and it's about grandpa comes back into his family's life. His daughter, she has, a daughter and a son, so his granddaughter and his grandson, and then I guess, are they single now? Or I guess cohabitating with her ex?
Technically, they're married.
Are they still married?
Yeah, they're still married. In this current season, they're still married.
So Rick doesn't like her daughter's husband. That's a whole story, and we might get into it, maybe not. So anyway, so it's an anime show. That's the family dynamic. The concept is pretty simple. He's the smartest man in the universe,
right?
And he has
and he invented interdimensional teleportation.
Yeah. He's got a portal gun, so he can travel to other areas in space and other dimensions outside of space. So it's a little sci-fi, but it's satirical. It's a parody, and I don't know. It's incredibly engrossing. That's the short version. Okay, so if you never heard of it, that's the short version. If you heard of it, I don't judge me. Start your own podcast and you explain it. So let's start with the favorite episodes. Oh, you're gone? Okay, bye.
Bye. I love her.
Right? So let's start with favorite episodes.
I know my personal favorite episode only because I love the particular character is Mr. Meeseeks.
Meeseeks and Destroy. That was a good one.
Meeseeks and Destroy. I think he was in episode 2 episode 3 of the first season. Yeah, basically, part of it is the family was having some issues, getting some things taken care of. I think the oldest daughter, Summer, had a speech or something she had to give in school. The husband, Jerry, wanted to take 2 strokes off this golf game, which culminates into this entire horrible series of events that almost people die.
Wait. So explain to them if they haven't seen the episode. What's a Meeseek?
Okay, a Meeseeks is basically this little weird anamorphic blue character that comes out. Their purpose in life is to help you achieve whatever goal or purpose that you want, and then they cease to exist. Literally, they appear, and then they just want to help you complete your mission, whatever it is, whether it's washing dishes, reading a book, taking 2 strokes off your golf game, getting your car started, and then they literally poof, just go back into nothingness. They just want to die.
So, pretty simple concept, right? Be kind of nice. I'd be like, hey, hit the button, Meeseeks appear, do my taxes. It'd be great. But the episode explores the absurdity of having an easy button, and it completely goes off the rails. So I actually co-sign. That's one of my favorite episodes.
Love that episode. And then just his little catchphrases just crack me up. 'Cause he's so simple. Mine he just pops up. It's oh, just look at me. I'm Mr. Meeseeks. And then, but when it really gets bad in one of the episodes, it's there's just hundreds of them just all over the place because they just keep popping the Meeseeks box to generate more Meeseeks because they think obviously if you have more people to help, that's supposed to help you take care of your situation, which wasn't the case at all. So they're getting older, and then you find out that the longer they exist, the more crazy and unstable they get because for them, existence is pain. It's so they just want to come in here, get the job done, and get out. So the longer they're around, the more unstable and violent they get.
Some people I know. So, all right. So there's 4 seasons. I think my favorite probably from season 1 as well. Or was it season 2? It's called Autoerotic Assimilation.
I think it's season 2, yeah.
Is it season 2? Okay. So in this season, they're traveling around the universe and they run into an abandoned ship. And so they go to loot it. And they find an entity that consumes people's identity. I don't even know how to describe this episode. But so apparently this thing...
Thank you.
Oh, you're so sweet. it takes over people's minds and can take over all of them, and they become like unified as one. Almost like, think of, if you're old enough, the pod people, right? So it's one mind, but it controls all these bodies, and in it, somehow Rick is a genius. He like, I won't say falls in love, but like becomes romantically involved with this force that's
Well, because in the episode you actually find out that they had met before. Like they're almost
Oh,
like
yeah,
call
yeah.
them exes, but like they have a history of
Yeah.
of messing around with each other. Like I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to
Hey,
that.
it also goes back to the beginning. I feel like I'm not explaining that right. Like everyone, like her thoughts come out of other people's mouths. Like she like takes over their bodies and their minds, and they become like
Well, because
pieces
her
of a
name
greater
was what,
whole.
her name
I think
was
her name
Unity.
was Unity.
Yeah, her name was Unity. Yeah, and like you said, she's like this spacefaring presence that basically assimilates other organisms into like her hive mind. Basically.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, so they're all part of the hive mind, and so her goal was to take over this planet, become a Type 1 civilization, join the Galactic Federation, and take over basically the universe. And she even says in the episode, like, I'll become what the single-minded ones call God. And so it's a very interesting concept of like what it means to be an individual, to have your own mindset. That's my hair. What are you doing? That's not where a bottle goes. We thought we would record this with her not being asleep. We usually do this during her nap time.
Right. Or if she's not around. But yeah.
Hey. Can we finish? Can we finish?
And then you have all daddy's attention. I promise.
So in the episode, like
Play your room, please.
his grandchildren like grapple with the ethical issues of taking over someone's body and controlling them, right? And then the hive mind deals with the ethical issue of taking over worlds and universe, even though and in the episode it talks about drug dealers, like people who were criminals become marine biologists, which is random, but that's what they put in there, and making the whole world a better place. There's no crime, there's no wars, like people live longer, and everything is I mean, it's almost perfect. It's like a utopia. But the moral issue in that is like they don't have a choice.
Yeah, you eliminate that free will concept. So
Yeah.
you kind of take that chaos factor out of it, because obviously nobody's doing just what they want to do as individuals. It's all this well-oiled, synchronized machine run by this, like I said, this hive mind, this singular focus, this singular entity.
So I enjoy the episode because of the complexity of the concept. And then in parallel, like Rick is just running around like creating substances to get completely trashed and high, and completely misses like the moral, ethical issues of it all. He's just out having fun. So, okay, we're describing this. You're probably like, why would anyone watch this show? And if you've seen it, you're probably talking about, yo, this is a terrible way to describe the show. But, and through all these events, like we're talking about the more intellectual side of it, it's incredibly hilarious. So I think the grandchildren are having a dialogue, and she was like, Morty, this isn't right. And he's like, what are you talking about? They made us into Mount Rushmore. They made these hamburgers. He's like, just enjoy it. And there's some levity to it. But, it's such a fantastic show, and I don't know if this explanation does it justice. So watch it for yourself. I don't know. Hey, maybe Dan Harmon will send us some money for plugging this show.
Well, see, and even like watching that episode that you're talking about, like my mother was big into Star Trek, so I've been a little bit into Star Trek, and I think something that Mr. Spock always talks about is like the needs of the few versus the needs of the many. And I feel like that concept perfectly translated into that episode, because like you said, when Unity took away people's free will, and people were over here just like you said, like, becoming marine biologists, or like, making like these super healthy cheeseburgers and stuff like that. The fact that like, they eliminated, I think, like all disease and all war and all famine, like into this utopia. She turned it into like this perfect thing. But like you said, it's like it took away like, some of the freedoms that people have, or like, the needs of the many were put above, the needs of the few, which the needs of the few would be like free choice, being able to go out here and get trashed on drugs, or drive impaired, or just do whatever the hell they wanted. And once you eliminate that, then, like you said, it boils down into that concept of like what's really, I guess, necessary, or like what can you have to achieve your goal as far as like having like a perfect society versus allowing people to be who they are, to express themselves, to have that independent thought. And I feel like in a way that kind of translates back over to us as
That's
a
why I like
country
it. Like
right now.
it's relatable.
It's like, everybody feels like, maybe you have to sacrifice certain things. People think that we're going through a state of censorship when it comes to our social media, or like, being able to talk about certain things or being able to express themselves. Because if not, you might get hit by the censor police on Facebook. Like, there's only certain content that you can put up before they're like, oh, nope, shut it down. It's not appropriate. It doesn't go with our guidelines. Or people are afraid to say certain things to people because of how you can react. Or, shoot, even now, it's like you can't even, like, certain words. Like, I want to say, like, the word fag is definitely looked down upon. Well, I'm just saying that if you take that same concept and apply it to the regular world, is the fact that, like, you can't say those kinds of things anymore because in our culture, we realize that it's insensitive. It hurts. And in a sense, there's a censorship on stuff like that because we try to be more sensitive and inclusive when it comes to things. But at the same time, do you remove those kind of civil liberties in order to make more people feel comfortable? Or do you still allow them, like you said, like that freedom of choice to express themselves, even though it may make people be uncomfortable?
That's a powerful question. And that's why I enjoy the show, because this is the same show that had an episode about time-traveling snakes. Completely ridiculous concepts.
That too.
But at the
we
end...
should find out it's not even time-traveling snakes. It's just it was a gimmick. Because didn't he have like some like weird little device that would like shoot out of his like ankle holster or something with some smoke? It was stupid.
It was almost a magic trick. Anyway, like the conversations we have from that show make it such an intriguing show. And then it even makes fun of itself. Wait, hold on. Don't hurt yourself, okay? It even makes fun of itself because I think was it season 4, it talked about it had a cat and the cat could talk. And everyone was kind of off put, like, why can you talk? And the cat's response was always the same. It was like, don't worry about it, just have fun. And they're like, no, you're a cat and you could talk. And the cat's like, hey, listen. People that have fun don't ask those type of questions. Right. And I think sometimes we do get a little too deep into the show. We do like, man, there's videos all over, like 20 minutes on one episode, just talking about like the fan theory, the science behind it. It was phenomenally written, but I think sometimes people forget to just enjoy it.
But at the same time, I feel like shows like that are supposed to provoke thought. Like, I feel like there's just enough randomness and chaos thrown into it to be thought-provoking. But at the same time, like, it's still a cartoon. It's for entertainment.
This is true. Don't take it too seriously. So we got Mr. I think it's Meeseeks and Destroy.
Yep.
We got Autoerotic Simulation, and then
what is it? Interdimensional Cable is always funny.
That was interesting. It was almost like a improv comedy sketch, but it's animated, and it worked. I don't know. It almost didn't work, but then it worked. Just a bunch of like 2 or 3 minute sketches. And I think it was the first one or the second one had a guy that was like the personal space show. And he had a slide. He had like a slide deck. Yes. He was like slide 1. It was like, stay out of my personal space. And it was like, click, slide 2, stay out of my personal space. Like 10 slides.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? There's an introvert somewhere that's standing and applauding.
Right. That is absolutely loving that stuff.
Where did you even get that?
Thank you. And then, like I say, even with the personal space, like this man, and the thing about Rick and Morty is the fact that it'll take some concepts and then just take it to the extreme. Because even with the whole personal space thing, my man.
Are you going to tell him? I wasn't going to bring that part up.
I'm going to tell him just because it cracked me up. The man literally like rips off his own skin, and did he set himself on fire? No,
that was
another one. He rips off his own skin because he was like, "Oh, it's in my personal space. I can't have anything in my personal space," and literally tears off his own skin, like right there. And I'm just like, that is absurd. But it is, to me, that kind of stuff is hilarious. I love it. I love that kind of stuff.
There's one episode where Jerry, his daughter's wife, right? Or sorry, his daughter's husband. He acts like the punk. Anyway, he goes in the fridge and he's looking around and he finds this unlabeled container. He's like, oh, what is this? And so he drinks it. Like, you have a mad scientist in your house. Don't drink random things out of the fridge. So he drinks it, and the next scene, like, cuts to him, green. He's got, like, boils all over his face, and they're rushing him to the hospital. And he's like, everybody knows the vegetable crisper is mine, Jerry. So he almost dies, and they end up in this, like, intergalactic hospital. It's just silly. It's just so silly. the fact, first of all, why would you drink something that's unlabeled? And two, you're in the hospital, but Rick's mad that you drank his whatever. I don't even know what it was. A science experiment?
I don't know, but didn't it like low-key flub Jerry up low-key?
No, he literally died.
Yeah.
They had to revive him.
That's right.
And I think everyone that came in contact with him died. Remember? Like he threw up on the doctor. And the doctor's like,
and then he got messed up.
the doctor got infected and they had to kill the doctor.
That's right.
Silly. So silly. Just watch. Just trust me. Just watch it. It's a great show.
Right. We definitely co-sign this show. It's been on, this is going into its 4th season now.
Yeah.
Like Bruce said, shout out to Dan Harmon.
And Justin Roiland.
Yes.
Give us money.
Yes, please. We will talk about your show.
All the time.
All the time. We will.
We'll start at season 1, episode 1 to the end. Just, yes, give us money.
Right. He said, give us money. I was like, we'll wear your merch. Give us money. Listen, make me a Meeseeks suit. I would say
Actually, didn't you do that for Christmas one year?
No, I wanted to.
Or not Christmas, Halloween?
I wanted to. I wanted to get one of those Meeseeks onesies. I'm still gonna get it actually.
Do it.
Matter of fact, me and baby girl might be Meeseeks coming up soon. So that's what we'll do. I'll say I'll be a big Meeseeks. You'll be a little Meeseeks. I know Disney, you out here with your Baby Yoda stuff, and everybody loves Baby Yoda, but Meeseeks over Baby Yoda.
I wish we need to like put a picture up if we can edit it and put it on there. I don't know. Seriously, you were quiet until we started. All right, that's all we got. Thanks, y'all.